Hi friends, welcome to SchoolQuizz. Myself Franscis. Today we will discuss chapter 11 in 8th standard CBSE, that is forces and pressure. In our daily life, we are all familiar with so many activities like jumping, running, walking, writing, kicking, flicking, lifting. All things are happening because of one reason, that is force. So what is a force? A force is generally we can say it is push or pull acts on object is known as force. I'll write force is push or pull acts on acting on objects. So what is push or pull? For opening a door handle, we have to push the door. For closing it, we have to pull the door. If a man wants to draw some water from a well, he has to pull the rope attached to the bucket of water. Then only water comes out. So, what is push? I will explain through an example. If a man pushes the table, this table will move forward. That means this table move away from this man. Understood? This table will move away from this man. In another case, that is pull. If a man pull this table, means this table will come towards the man. It will come towards the man. So we can write what is a push or pull. A push means a force acting on an object move away from a body. Pull is force acting on an object move towards our body. I'll write force acting on an object move away from our body. Understood? Next, pull. Pull is force acting on an object move towards our body. When we push the table, pull the table, pull the door, push the door, lift the bucket of water. Hockey players change the direction of ball by flicking. Football players kick on football. All things are happening because force. We can see in our nature, all around, one thing, that is force. Next is direction of force. If we apply force in this direction towards right, then what is the direction here? Direction of force here? Towards right. If someone push the table towards left, then what is the direction of force here? Towards right. So what is the direction of force? It is a direction in which push or pull acts on body is known as direction of force. Direction in which push or pull acts on object is known as direction of force. Understood? Next we will moving on to force due to interaction. Force is due to interaction. Force between object is caused because of interaction set up in between them. Understood? I will explain. Assume a stationary car and a man standing behind that. Consider a stationary car, a man standing behind this car. Due to the presence of this man, will this car move? No, it won't happen. Because there is a no interaction set up between this man and car. So there is a no force in between them. So car doesn't move. Understood? I will explain again. If there is a no interaction set up between object, there is a no force. Here, this man standing behind this stationary car. So there is a no interaction set up between them. So there is a no force. In another case, this man pushed this car. What happened? This car will move forward. So there is a interaction between this car and man and force in between them. Both the objects are capable of applying force on each other. So we can say if there is an interaction set up between object, there will be force. Understood? If there is an interaction set up between object, there will be force in between them. Understood? Next is exploring a force. We know that a force is vector quantity. What do you mean by a vector quantity? Physical quantity in which both magnitude and direction is known as vector quantity. Physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction is known as vector quantity. For specify a force, we have to measure both magnitude and direction. If there is any change in magnitude and direction, will result the change in effect that produced by applied force. Understood? So, what is the magnitude of force? If you are given 10 Newton, then what is the magnitude of force here? This 10 is known as magnitude of force. Actually, magnitude of force is strength of a force. We have to specify the direction also. It is from left to right. Direction of force is from left to right. what is the unit of a force? In SI system, unit of force is Newton. It is represented by capital letter N, Newton. In CGS system, this in SI system. In CGS system, unit of force is dyne. It is represented by dyn. Understood? Here we have to also mention what is a 1 Newton force. 1 Newton force. We know that the unit of force is 1 Newton, that is kilogram meter per second square. Is known as 1 Newton force. Next we will discuss what is net force. If there is more than one force is acting on an object, what will be the net force? Consider two friends pushing together this box. Then what happened? Due to the bigger force of these two people, this box will move in this direction. So what is the force here? Say it is F1, this is F2. So what is net force here? Net force will be F1 plus F2. Right? Two friends are pushing on this object in same direction. So what is net force here? It is sum of these two forces. And we have to specify the direction also. Here it is from right to left. Understood? So net force will be F1 plus F2. Say F1 equal to 10 and F2 is equal to 5. Then what will be the next net force here? 10 plus 5 equal to 15 Newton. Understood? If two forces are applied in same direction, then net force will be sum of these two forces. I will write if forces are applied in same direction, net force will be F1 plus F2. That means sum of two forces. In another cases, two Francis are pushing this box from opposite side. Then what will be the net force? Here, what happened? Pushing forces are applied from opposite side. So net force will be difference between these two forces. It is F1, it is F2. So net force will be difference between these two forces, F1 minus F2. Say it is 10 Newton and it is 5 Newton. Then what will be the net force here? It is 10 minus 5 Newton. So, equal to 5 Newton. I will repeat. If there is forces are applied in opposite direction, so net force will be difference between these two forces. In this case, what will be the direction of force? Here, direction of force will be the direction in which larger force is applied. Here, what is the larger force? That is 10 Newton. So, direction of force will be in this direction. That is towards right. Understood? Because here the larger force is 10 Newton. So, direction of force will be towards right. Direction of force will be towards right because here the largest forces are from towards right. Understood? So what is the second case? In second case, net force will be what? Forces are applied in opposite direction. Net force will be sum of difference between forces F1 minus F2. Difference between forces. The direction of force is will be in the direction of larger force. Larger magnitude force. Larger magnitude of force. Understood? In another case, if two equal and opposite forces are applied from opposite side, equal and opposite forces are applied, then what will be the net force? Net force will be 0. Why it is 0? Here both forces are applied from opposite side, right? So net force will be difference between these two forces. So here 10 minus 10 equal to 0. So direction of force here this box doesn't move anywhere because there is no force in between them. Okay? There is no force, so the box doesn't move anywhere. Understood? I will repeat. We already discussed the net force in 3 cases. First one is if two forces are applied in same direction, so net force will be sum of two forces. Forces are applied in opposite direction, the net force will be difference between forces. If two equal and opposite forces are applied, then net force will be 0. Understood? Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.